Hi, Stephen here from Sound of an Ocean Wave, and this is day 16 of the August Daily Draw. So as we start the weekend, let's see what message we get. And I'll be taking the first card from the Tarot of the Witch's Garden, followed by an Oracle card from the Seasons of the Witch Lammas Oracle. So let's choose our first card and get the reading underway. Okay, here we go. Here we have the Queen of Cups. Now, this is funny. We're getting some queens out. We had a queen yesterday. No, it wasn't. It was a Seven of Cups. But before that, we had the Queen of Wands. We've already had the Queen of Swords, and now we have the Queen of Cups. So that's very interesting. And what is the Queen of Cups coming to say to us today? Is to take care of ourselves emotionally. Our emotional and spiritual well-being is literally on the cards today. So we need to nurture ourselves, do what makes us feel good, do what, produces healthy emotions, healthier relationships, do whatever enables us to do that more effectively. So that can be dealing with any inner needs that need to be dealt with. We need to make sure that we take care of ourselves. The Queen's very nurturing, developing, and helping. And I think that the Queen of Cups is that in abundance. That nurturing, caring quality is perfectly expressed in the Queen of Cups. She's very sensitive to her emotions. She's aware of her emotions, and we need to be aware of our own emotional and spiritual state, and where we feel good and where we may not feel so good, where we may need a bit of attention to bring some healings, bring some growth and development. So we may need that awareness of ourselves. And it may involve some inner reflection. It may involve change. To me, that is symbolized there by the serpent on her lap here. And to me, serpents always symbolize healing and change, particularly healing through change and transformation, and the shedding of old things, like a snake will shed its skin. And that's what I think the Queen of Cups is coming to say to us today, that make sure, it's okay to take care of our own needs as well as those of others. I mean, the Queen of Cups is very caring about other people's feelings and their well-being, but she's also aware that she needs to care for herself, and that's what we must be aware of too. Because if we don't take care of ourselves, we're not going to be in a condition where we can effectively make a difference to someone else. So we need to take care of ourselves so that we're in a position to then take care of others. But it starts within us. So whatever change, growth, any care that's needed, just to give ourselves that emotional and spiritual boost, just as that general feeling of well-being, that is what we need to pay attention to. That's what the Queen of Cups is instructing us to take care of. So this weekend, it may be a case of just do things that make you feel better, that make you feel good. Indulge yourself a little in that. not over the top, but enough to make you feel good, to give you that good feeling, that positive feeling. And don't feel bad or feel you're being selfish. No, it's right. It's okay to do that. Sometimes we feel guilty when we take care of ourselves and give ourselves some attention, that we're being, where we should be putting others first. But as I said, if we don't take care of ourselves, it's going to hinder how helpful we can be to other people. So, in a sense, yes, we take care of ourselves, but it gets us into a position where we can be helpful to other people. So it's not for a time, it's not self-centered, but self-focused on ourselves, so that we can do the work within us that we need to do. And then we shine that light out, that focus out to around in the situations and in the people around us. But it's okay. I think the message today is it's okay to look after yourself. Physically, mentally, emotionally, it's okay to take care of yourself. And I think that's what the Queen of Cups wants to take us to take on board today. Okay, so let's see which oracle card we get to go with that. Poetry. Poetry can be inspirational. Poetry can be an expression of feelings and emotions, and reading poetry, if we're into that, can sometimes help us to connect with those emotions. That's the first thing I get from this card without reading the bottom, just from the word poetry, and from the fact that she's probably a poetry book here. Writing poetry, or writing, can be a form of expressing ourselves. So if we're into that, we can do that. Not everybody wants to do that. That's fine. But for those of us that are that way, inclined, then that could be a useful thing to do. It doesn't necessarily have to be a poem in the traditional sense, but it could be just something we write down to express ourselves, journeying or something like that. Anyway, let's read the bottom bit. Invoke your words for good and use them to uplift yourself and others. So we have this sense of uplift yourself and others. So you have to uplift yourself, then you can uplift others, which is what we were saying. So that, I think, that's the key message that both these cards reinforce to us. Uplift yourself through whatever source of inspiration and connection you have to do that. And then you're in a position which you uplifts yourself, and it can be used then to uplift others. And I think that is the message for today. So that's today's message. I'll be back tomorrow with day 17. Until then, thank you for listening. Take care, everyone, and I'll see you all again very soon. Okay, bye-bye.